Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Today's title is You Are Being Hunted. This is season 1, episode number 34 in the book of Genesis. I just couldn't leave this area of scripture without telling you one of my favorite stories of all time. This is from Genesis chapter 4. I'm going to start in verse 3. Cain brought the Lord an offering of fruit of the ground, and Abel also brought the firstborn of his flock and of their fat portions. And the Lord had regard for Abel and his offering, but for Cain and his offering he had no regard. So Cain was very angry, and his face fell. And the Lord said to Cain, "Why are you angry, and why is your face fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted?" So God offers us a way up. "And if you do not do well, sin is crouching at the door. Its desire is contrary to you." Some translations say its desire is for you, and you must rule over it. So I couldn't leave this section of scripture without this particular story. This is a true story, really happened to me a couple decades ago. I was on a safari, and I found myself in the Serengeti. Now, the Serengeti is a national park in Tanzania. It's massive. It's the size of Connecticut. It's 5,700 square miles, which is 75 miles square, basically. And it is this great migration. This is where the great migration happens, where there's 1.5 million wildebeests and another million zebras. And they move massive distances to go follow the food source. So basically, it's a park for animals, and people are not very common there. Different than if you go to Yellowstone, where there's crowds. There's no crowds in the Serengeti because it's this massive area. We would see nobody all day long, and you had to have a permit to be in the park, and especially to camp there. So the picture is, we get there late. It's the beginning of dusk, and they let us in, and they literally close the doors behind us and lock us in to the Serengeti National Park. So far as I know, and as far as the story goes, there's nobody in the Serengeti National Park except for us and 2 million animals. So a couple of guys had been sent ahead to set up our camp while we did this game drive. And so, to my knowledge, there are 5 people, our party of 3, 2 guys setting up the camp, and that is it in this massive area, wilderness area. And we get there at dusk, and that's kind of where the action happens, and we see predators chasing prey, and it's all very exciting. And basically, it's kind of like us being at Disneyland. It was very much like watching one of those nature shows where you just can't believe all this great stuff is happening, and we're in this Land Rover kind of Jeep thing. And finally, we turn and we start heading towards camp, and then as we get there, now imagine this: there's like this waist-high grass, and our Land Rover takes a turn and turns 90 degrees and goes into this area. And as we do, now it's late dusk, and our headlights sweep over this grassland. And in the grassland, we see these 2 massive lionesses. Now, lionesses can grow to be 400 pounds, and these babies were 400 pounds each, or at least for the story they are, because they were very healthy, successful lionesses. And we see them, and you've seen this before. You've seen your house cat do it when it's trying to sneak up on a bird. You see them kind of creeping 1 millimeter at a time, very carefully. And so they're creeping low to the ground under the cover of this low, maybe waist-high grassland. And we were tired, and we were hungry. We could see the camp ahead, and maybe we might be 75 or maybe 100 yards away. So we pull into camp. We see these lionesses. We drive up, and now it's late dusk. It's almost dark. And you know how in a situation where you don't really know what's going on and you take your cues from people, well, that's what happened next. So we greet these guys that have been setting up the camp and starting to cook dinner, and I tell them the story. So I was like, "Hey, we had this great game drive, and hey, just as we were turning in here, just like right over there, we can see the spot. So we saw these 2 beautiful, lionesses, creeping through the grass." And these guys, their faces absolutely fell. They became pale. and fear in their eyes. And I didn't realize for a few minutes, I'm kind of putting things together, that, wait a minute, so Africa's top predator is right over there. And, creation's most efficient and successful killing machine is right in our weeds, right over there. It's on the hunt, on the prowl. And you two guys, our camp guys, and now us five, were on the menu. They were hunting you. And we interrupted the hunt by kind of shining the light on them. Possibly we even saved their lives. The idea is you guys were being hunted. And so scripturally, they realized exactly what was happening, and eventually we realized is their desire was to have you, to eat you, to catch you, and kill you. So why do I tell you the story? Well, it's a sober thing to realize that you are prey, and that they desired to be eaten. You were desired to be eaten. Your perspective changes. And what did it mean for us as campers in the Serengeti? It changed everything, obviously. Our awareness changed. We were not fooling around. We were not just bopping through our evening, and we began to act like we knew that we were prey. Our fire got bigger. Our defenses got stronger. Our preparation changed. Our focus got sharper. So, dear Christian, what does it mean to act like sin's desire is for you? Awareness. Hey, we are not at Disneyland. This is a hostile environment. Yes, we have resources. We have everything we need, but our perspective just changed. It changed from, hey, I'm hungry, it's late, let's get something to eat, to, hey, let's not be eaten. It changed everything. So there is something out there that desires to pursue us for evil, and it helps to know that you are being hunted. So, in conclusion, how would things change if we knew that we were prey, that sin desires us and wants us to fall? We would stop bopping through life and saying, oh, there's that temptation again. Oh, the lust of the eye, lust of the flesh, the pride of life. To, oh my goodness, these things want to devour me. Jealousy and pride and rivalry. Their desire is contrary to me. Its desire is to have me and consume me and destroy me. So when you realize you are hunted, it changes everything. Thanks for listening.